Hello everyone. Today we'll be looking at the application versions dashboard. This dashboard comes out of the box with Bimbeats and uses data from Bimbeats version tracker to monitor what software versions and builds are installed across your firm. It helps ensure consistency by identifying how many different versions of an application are in use and who is not on the latest or approved build. The dashboard is driven by three main visualizations. On the left, we can see a bar graph showing us the programs we're tracking. The size of the bar indicates how many different builds of that program are in circulation. Higher values represent more fragmentation, as in there are more different builds of that program in circulation. The table in the middle indicates the name of the application, the name of the user that has the application installed, and what the version number is for that application the last time that Bimbeats version tracker ran. Finally, the pie chart on the right-hand side shows the distribution of different versions or builds across your office. To use the dashboard, simply select the program that we want to filter for. So for example, if I want to look at the different versions for Desktop Connector, I can see that I currently have 11 different versions of Desktop Connector in circulation. If I click into the bar, I'll automatically create a filter for Desktop Connector. I can now see that Desktop Connector is installed across 46 users, and I can see what version each of those users are on. At a glance, I can see that I have 3 users on the latest build of Desktop Connector, and I have many users on build 17.02. The pie chart now shows me the distribution of these builds. If I want to upgrade users to make sure they're on the latest build of Desktop Connector, I now have a list of usernames for which to run the new installation on. Let's take a look at Revit. In the case of Revit, we can see that we have 21 different versions of Revit in circulation, but this is also because it's counting for Revit 26, Revit 2025. In this case, let's narrow down the search to make sure we're only looking at versions of Revit 2026. I can type in version 26 and asterisk to indicate that I only want values for a version that start with 26. So now I've filtered and I can see that I have 7 total users on Revit 2026 and I have 2 builds in circulation. 4 of my users are on 4.0.32 and 3 of my users are on 3.0.37. We can also use the drop-down controls at the top of the dashboard to select a program. So in this case, I can click on the application name control and select the program I want to monitor. Let's look at ETABS. So in this case, I can see that I have 6 versions of ETABS in circulation, and I can see them arranged by build number in the table in the middle. The programs you're monitoring with Version Tracker can be specified using the Bimbeats settings application. Within the Bimbeats settings application, there's a table called process name or full executable path. This is where you can define the values for the programs that you want to search. There are a couple ways to search. If we include the process name, for example, Revit, this will include all the processes with the word Revit anywhere in the name. So this is why on our dashboard we were collecting information for Revit, Revit Worker, and Revit Accelerator. If a process name is used, then Version Tracker will only collect the version number for that process if that process has been run in the last 24 hours. Alternatively, we can use an executable path. In this case, we're looking at the path for where Revit exe is stored in Program Files Autodesk Revit 2025. This will collect the version number for Revit in that user's computer, regardless of if that program was run or not. We can also use wildcards in the search. For example, here we're looking at Program Files Autodesk Revit asterisk and then Revit exe. And what this is going to do is it's going to look for that Revit exe file within all parent folders that contain the word Revit followed by something. This is why we can get information for Revit 2020, Revit 2024, Revit 2025, or whatever version of Revit is installed in the user's computer. When Version Tracker runs, a document is ingested into the log data view. The document includes the fields for action name is process version and includes fields for name, version, username, and computer name. Version Tracker runs at 24-hour intervals, but the dashboard uses the latest document for each program. Use the application versions dashboard and Bimbeats Version Tracker to keep your software environment consistent, reduce risk, and make sure everyone is working on the right build. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us via our forum.